Yo, it's the Elohim, the Mellow Mystic, Lord Emmanuel, Chief of Simonicanation, Spiker Star Seed, the wheat in the virgin's hand. And if you don't know, now you know. Check this out, though. I want to get back into the Simonican Civics course. I believe it's lesson 2.4. You know, because you don't have to prove anything to the U.S. corporation. You know, you don't have to come with all this evidence that you're indigenous. You can, and you should, and I have. You know, my people's is Cherokee and Seminole. You know what I'm saying? But I also created my own nation or tribe of indigenous peoples, Simonicans. With my family name. Through declaration. And that's it. Through declaration. And now the U.S. has no jurisdiction. I have my own jurisdiction. I have my own constitution, my own laws, my own customs, my own spiritual system, my own education system, my own entertainment system, my own economic structure with the Simonican Anu. And the Simonican National Bank, and the Simonicanation Trust, and the Simonican Temple of Spica Trust, and the Simonican Mystery School of Spica, and the Simonican Indigenous Land Trust. And the Simonicanation Private Court, Terra Firma jurisdiction. And the treaty with the Kingdom of Pabasip, looking to establish more confederacies and treaties with other nations. Because we know what time it is out here in the age of Aquarius. And we on some new shits. And we building new shit. We vibing with Mother Earth. We vibing on the frequency. We are aware of what's going on in the heavens. We are aware of what's going on above. And because we know our connection to it. Our individual universe and its connection to the macrocosm. That's synastry. And it's crazy because, you know, people will fill out whatever documents, whatever forms and shit they need to fill out for the corporation. Fill out whatever documents, whatever forms they need to fill out. Send it in and shit. No problem. But won't create their own shit. won't make their own declarations. It's crazy. When it come to making their own declaration, that's a hassle. Yeah, so lawful instruments and records. That's what you make your when you make a declaration on and you write it down and you you autograph it, you know what I'm saying? And you get it notarized. That is a lawful instrument. You know what I mean? If you create your own identification, that's a lawful instrument. You don't have to, but if you have their instruments on you, you best believe they can fuck with you, and they will. I'm telling you right now, a U.S. citizen has no rights. A national has rights under the Constitution. A U.S. citizen is a legal fiction, it's a corporation. When you identify with that, you have no rights. You are civiliter mortuus, legally dead in the eyes of the law. If you don't think that's spiritual enough for you, I don't know what to tell you. But lesson 2.4, lawful instruments and records. So this lesson explains how law becomes actionable through instruments and records. In the legal realm, what is not written, signed, and preserved effectively does not exist. Simonican Civics teaches how lawful instruments give form to intent, protect standing, and create continuity across time. So, what is a lawful instrument? A lawful instrument is a written expression of truth, intent, or authority made by a party with standing. With standing. And that's where, we covered standing in the last video. If you don't have any standing, and you're not in your proper capacity, and your status is not corrected, then none of this applies to you. But common lawful instruments include declarations, affidavits, notices, trust instruments, covenants, and resolutions. An instrument does not require permission to exist, only authority and clarity. So instruments versus forms. Administrative systems rely on forms, pre-created templates, limited options, embedded consent. Sovereign systems rely on instruments created by the declarant, tailored to purpose, and expressive of will and truth. Forms manage people, instruments express authority. The role of records. A record is the preservation of an instrument for reference, proof, and continuity. Records serve to establish timelines, provide evidence of intent, prevent misrepresentation, and preserve standing. You know what I mean? I said it in the rhyme. Put it on the record so it's all clarified. You know what I say? I'm not in the sea. My watch ain't on maritime. Put it on the record so it's all clarified. You know what I'm saying? Can two walk together unless they agree? Everything in the universe is contracts. Shouts out to Lord Yukilio Sai, man. Lord Yukilio Sai. I always give respect to Lord Yukilio Sai, man. He came down here and dropped the knowledge for about 2 years straight. The high sciences, man, that, people just now starting to talk about. That's how I knew. We in the age of Aquarius, man. You know what I'm saying? But now private versus public recording. Lawful instruments may be privately recorded. Personal archives, national records, publicly noticed, served upon relevant parties. You know what I mean? Secretary of State, Department of State, the IRS, the Treasury, Social Security Administration, the county, Sheriff's Department, Chief of Police. When you serve notice to these parties, it is on the record. It is now on the record. Proper construction of instruments. Effective instruments typically include title and purpose, identification of the declarant, statement of authority, clear declarations or notices, signature, date, and seal, or autograph, date, and seal. Witness or notarial acknowledgement. So, yeah, I'll stop there and skip through some stuff, but it's hella shit. It's hella information that I have that I want to make sure I get out there. So I'm gonna be dropping these videos, man. And visit simonicanation.org for resources, or if you would like to donate.